What's up, guys? It is Monday afternoon. Let's see here. Okay, just had to answer a message. Um, it's October 2nd. I've got 2 more weeks officially of my 40s. 2 more weeks and I'll be the big 5-0. By the way, before I get any further, want to send a shout out, happy birthday to one of my best buddies all my life, my cousin, and we lived across the ditch from each other. We lived right beside each other all our life till we moved out. Um, he was more like a brother to me than a cousin. But Robbie Lester, he hit the big 5-0 today. Want to send a happy birthday out to Robbie. Definitely, I'm right behind you, buddy. I'm right behind you. So I'm glad. I hope I make it 50. I got 2 more weeks, so hopefully I'll make it there. Um, so what's been going on? And I know it's a little late this, but what about they arrested somebody for Tupac's murder? 26 years later. What's this guy's name? Keffy D? Is that his name? His alias is Keffy D. What's his, let's see what his real name is. Dwayne Keffy D. Davis. Dwayne Davis arrested on Friday. Law enforcement believes he was the ringleader of the 1996 fatal shooting. And his big mouth got him in trouble because he thought he could never be tied to it because the way I'm hearing it, he mocked he mocked the cops. Said they ain't gonna do. He said Orlando Baby Lane Anderson shot Tupac dead from a Glock, and that was his nephew. He he said he said that he tried to organize limo tours of the Sin City Strip where he take paying customers to the historic intersection and give details about the moments bullets ravished the rapper's vehicle. So that's called get letting your big mouth get you in trouble. His foolish attitude, his lack of knowledge of the law that got him into trouble. He spilled all the details about the night Tupac was gunned down because he believed he could never be charged for its involvement. So yeah, he's he's finding out now. And I mean, do we ever find out about Biggie now? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it done? Is this a done deal? Is everybody happy? Is this satisfied that this is the guy? I mean, or is he going to rat out somebody? Um, he's going to rat out somebody about it. He's already talking about his nephew was the one that shot him. So uh, we'll see. But yeah, that's 27 years. Excuse me, 27 years. It was in '96. My math. I need to get my math straight. Ah, what else? Look, guys, I'll leave that one for the end. Um, Recapping the sports weekend. Okay, ECU lost to Rice 24-17 in a disappointing game for the Pirates. I know I picked ECU to win that game, but guess what? I did pick Louisville to beat State. So let's go through this top 25. Georgia pulls out one against Auburn 27-20. Picked Georgia to win that. That was closer than what. What about this Bowers kid, the tight end for Georgia? Every time they needed a big play, he came up with 8 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. Michigan all over Nebraska. I picked Michigan to win that 45-7. Kansas over Texas. Texas pulled away. It was a lot closer than what Texas wanted him in. What about the Brooks kid from Texas? 21 carries, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. Texas offense looked really good. Penn State, 41, Northwestern 13. That was I picked that one. Washington pulls out a squeaker against Arizona. I picked for that. USC, Colorado. USC is allergic to defense. They always can play all the offense in the world, but they can. Can Lincoln Riley bring in a defensive coordinator and bring in? You've got all the weapons on offense. Can you use some of that NIL money and pay some defensive players because that game got closer than it needed to be for USC fans. I mean, I'm not a fan of either one, but I like Lincoln Riley. I pull for him because of ECU ties. But Yeah, you let that game get too close. You need to work on your defense. I think you got the offense down pat. 48-41 and got 27-14 in the second half. Colorado wins the second half, but you got to win the game. Oregon with Bo, I'm making a career out of college. Nix, guy's been in there longer than Stetson Bennett ever thought about being in there. I mean, he was there when Justin Herbert. He played against Justin Herbert when Justin Herbert was at Oregon, and Justin Herbert's been in the league what 3-4 years now. Yeah. Oregon all over Stanford 42-6. Oregon looks like they're going to be something to reckon with. And I picked that. Notre Dame just does pull out a squeaker against Duke. Sam Hartman, not only a good ball player, guys, but if you watched after the game, the Duke, I don't know what Leonard, the quarterback for Duke, gets hurt right at the end of the game. And he goes into the tent while everybody's shaking hands. He's still in the injury tent. And, Sam Hartman sat there and waited for him to come out of that tent before he would go off that field. He wanted to talk to him before he would leave. So Duke had that game too. Duke had that game. Notre Dame was lucky to get by with that one. Alabama all over Mississippi State 40-17. I think, and I know I had Alabama picked there. LSU loses to Ole Miss 55-49. Talking about no defense on both sides. I think I picked Ole Miss to win that too. Oklahoma over Iowa State 50-20. Yeah, we had that one. Oklahoma had a big matchup next week against Texas. Tennessee all over South Carolina 41-20. I picked Tennessee. Upset special. Nobody would have picked this, I don't think. Florida gets beat by Kentucky 33-14. I had that pick. Missouri, they win over Vanderbilt 38-21. Fresno State over Nevada 27-9. So I missed one out of the top 25 and the ECU game and the state game. So didn't do too bad now. NFL football was different. Rams pull out. The Rams get all over the Colts and then have to win it in overtime. They were up 20-something-0 one time and had to go to overtime to beat them. I guess Minshew Mania was running wild, brother. Houston, let me tell you something. Matt Canada needs to go from Pittsburgh. 30-6, Houston whips up on my Steelers. Matt Canada, you need to go. And son, there's got to be a lot of changes coming to Pittsburgh. Washington loses to Philadelphia in overtime in a wild game. And I'm sorry, Commander haters, Eagles fans, you got by with one because Washington got ripped off. That guy's foot was not out of bounds in overtime. Should have never caught him out of bounds. How you go to a replay and do not – what quarterback will I am? What quarterback will I am? You talking about Pickett? Pickett was terrible. Got hurt. Pickett was terrible. C.J. Stroud looks good. But Commanders fans, you got ripped off. That drive should have kept going. Definitely should have kept going. Minnesota, Carolina, Panthers struggles continue. They had a lead and they let it get away. Minnesota gets their first win, 21-13. I had that pick. I think the only one I missed so far out of these was the Pittsburgh game. Miami and Buffalo. Yeah, it looks like it right now, doesn't it, William? The Panthers did pick the wrong quarterback. So, William, your picture looks great, man. You never looked better in that profile picture. Really. I've never seen you look that good. Your hair's fixed right. Looking great in that profile picture. Buffalo, Miami. So, I told you guys, and I think I did pick Miami to win. But I told you guys this was going to be the test for Miami. And, scoring 70 against the Broncos is one thing. Buffalo was ready for them. 48-20. Josh Allen throws 4 touchdown passes. And you go from 70 to 20, which is still averaging 45 points a game. 45 points a game in 2 weeks. So, but yeah, all over Miami. Tampa Bay, and I think I picked Tampa to win this. I did pick Tampa to win 26-9 over New Orleans. I'm telling you guys, New Orleans is over. I don't know what the fascination is with New Orleans. The Chargers over the Raiders, 24-17. Justin Herbert gets a cheap shot on him by the Raiders. I know he had some hand issues. Didn't look good, but it looked like he kept playing in the game. Let's see. New England. Oh, the worst loss in Bill Belichick's history of coaching. Dallas defense comes back to life this week. Two defensive touchdowns, and just it was a slaughter. Arizona I think Arizona woke up Dallas. Dallas thought they would come to Arizona and just step on the field and win. And this week, they didn't do that by any means. Dallas all over New England, 38-3. Arizona, San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey, what can you say? Hurdles a guy that keeps right on trucking, never misses a beat. Touchdown, what do you have? 4 touchdowns yesterday. San Francisco looks like the team to beat right now, 35-16. That's going to be an interesting matchup when the Cowboys and the 49ers tangle. Then the London game yesterday. In London, I told you guys, Atlanta went under one of these. Where'd I go? Hello? That wasn't a pretty picture. Anyway, I told you guys some sports publication put them in their top 10. And I was like, you are sadly mistaken. They have not beat anybody. And everybody was talking about Desmond Ridder. He's doing so good. You had the Toy Story game, which that was pretty cool to see that yesterday. But Desmond Ridder isn't doing bad. Yeah, he is. He is not. Did you see him try to high five one of his receivers on the sidelines yesterday? And the guy went off on him. I don't know what was going on with that, but he backed away real quick. The Jaguars all over the Falcons, 23-7. Yeah, I'd like to see what these people are talking about Atlanta now. Then the night game last night, Taylor Swift versus the New York Jets. Kansas City versus the New York Jets. And it starts off, you're looking, and Kansas City is all over them. It's like 17-0, just like that. And next thing you know, the Jets start coming back a little bit at a time. And you know what? Wilson, he grew up a little bit last night. He did not have a bad game. He actually looked like he knew what he was doing last night. I think he outplayed Mahomes. You got 245 yards passing, 2 TDs, no interceptions. Mahomes had 203 yards, a TD, and a pick, and they were not good picks either. These were not like, oh, the ball got tipped or something like that. He just made horrible passes. They looked horrible from what I saw, but he immediately took it. And there may be a breakup coming because Travis didn't score a touchdown yesterday, so Taylor may be upset about that. Did you see the meme where Taylor Swift is up in the booth talking to Brittany Mahomes, and they put up there, so why is your husband throwing the ball more to their guys than to Travis? And guys, let me tell you that. And Pacheco had a great game last night. 20 rushes, 115 yards, a touchdown. He's on one of my fantasy teams. And but let me tell y'all guys this. NFL fans are getting sick and tired of this crap. Showing Taylor up there for every time you turn around, every time there's a play, good play for the Chiefs, you're seeing it. You're seeing, let's cut to Taylor, show her up there in the booth. Touchdown Chiefs. Goes up to the booth. You got to see what Taylor's reaction is. Come on. You got to stop this, NFL. As much as you want to cross-brand this and think it's going to do. You don't need Taylor Swift. You're the freaking NFL. Why do you need Taylor Swift to keep showing her over and over again? Is this going to be another Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson deal? I mean, I don't know, but it's getting pretty pretty stupid. I think I'm getting tired of it. Maybe she'll write a whole album about NFL teams or something like that. Tonight, the Seahawks take on the Giants, and I'm figuring the Seahawks win that. No problem. It should be no problem. I know one of my players. He's a big Seahawks fan, Camden White. I probably jinx your Seahawks right then. Yeah, I got Seahawks too, bud. So last night, and we're gonna, how we bounce all around. First of all, condolences go out to an NFL legend that passed away yesterday due to a plane crash. And this is a guy that was back when I was a kid. He was at the time, one of the best tight ends in football. He played for a long time New England Patriot. And I think he got traded to the 49ers for a little while, won a Super Bowl with the 49ers, and then went back to the Patriots. But Russ Francis, you younger guys, if you don't know who Russ Francis is, you look him up. He had some great games as a Patriot. Not so much he did it all right with the 49ers, but he was a good Patriot back in the 70s and part of most of the 80s too, I believe. So 87 was when he retired, but died in a plane crash yesterday at the age of 70. It must have been a small plane crash because I haven't really heard a lot about it. But all right, so got to make this quick because I got a little early football practice tonight for these guys that they better be ready at 4:00. Russ Francis was a tight end, dude. He was a tight end. Didn't you hear me say great tight end back in the 70s and 80s? You don't pay it. As usual, don't pay attention to what I'm saying, William. So last night, this is going on. We'll go to the world of wrestling. AEW has their pay-per-view. And at the end, guess who makes an appearance? Edge. With his regular music, with Metalingus by Alter Bridge. He comes out, acts like he's going to shake hands with his longtime tag team partner, Christian, but then he ends up clearing the ring. He never got a hold of Christian, though, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a double swerve there, make him think he's going to be the good guy, and then ends up teaming up with his old buddy and reunite the Edge and Christian tag team. But yeah, big moment last night for AEW as they got Edge over there with AEW. And lastly, I'm going to talk about something good because between athletes, musicians, actors, you don't see enough of the good things that they do. And you're always hearing they got arrested for this, they got arrested for this. They're acting AEW better than WWE. William, you think that? Oh, listen to William. He don't even know what AEW is. He's just doing that. But so whenever I see something an artist, like a musician or an athlete does, that they didn't have to do, and it's doing some good, I like to post it and then I talk about it. So, and I know nobody's really I'm not that big of a fan of these guys. They're okay. I'm not a hater or anything like that. But back in 2019, this girl, let me see if I can pull up her name right quick. Just take me a second, guys. I should have had this up. There it is. Back in 2019, there was I think her name was Lily Jordan. She's 16 years old, and she bought a ticket to see the Jonas Brothers. But she didn't realize she's got cancer. And you got practice. You still got 20 minutes before you need to be getting stretched out and be ready when I get there. she didn't realize she was going to, she's a cancer patient. She didn't realize that that night or that day she was going to have chemo treatment. And so she had to give up her ticket. And she was kind of down in the dumps about it. Of course. I mean, you got cancer. You're fighting to beat cancer, which sucks, especially at 16 years old. It's never good, but the younger they are, the more it sucks. And this girl is just trying to live her life, and she doesn't get to do one of the things that gives her a little bit of joy. And but the Jonas Brothers found out about it and came to her hospital room and stayed with her for a little while and took pictures, gave her some stuff, and told her they were going to dedicate whatever song she wanted to that night at her concert. And man, I mean, you may not be a Jonas Brothers fan, and you may not like their kind of music, and that's fine. But for these guys to take time out of their schedule and to make a trip to the hospital for this girl, yeah, that's they've made a fan out of me for just doing that. I mean, that's classic. That is, you don't see a lot of these guys that will do that, but that's class right there. And I take my hat off to them. To see the look on this girl's face, and it's on the On the Fly Facebook group page. If you're not a member, you should be. But yeah, it's pretty special. And I don't know if this girl, how she ended up. Like I said, this was 4 years ago. I don't know how she ended up. I don't know if she's still with us or not. I need to find out, check out. But there were so many people that reached out to her about this. She had to have a press conference online because there were so many people requesting to interview her, to talk to her after this, and but hopefully she's still with us. And like I said, my hat's off to the Jonas Brothers. That was a class act, and more people. If I always said, if I ever got the chance, if I was ever a big enough, somebody thought something of me, and they were in a situation like that where I could help them be happy for a little while, or get their mind off of what they're going through for a little while, then I would definitely do it. No questions asked, no matter. But you guys check that out, and hopefully Lily is still with us. And like I said, Jonas Brothers, you're a class act. But guys, let me head off. I've got to get off here. I've got to go take care of some business. Some guys that should be ready at 4 o'clock when I get there instead of watching me up here. They better be stretched out and ready when I get there at football practice. But anyway, guys, hope you have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you next time on The Fly, the final score.